Hello everyone, my name is Natia Kasai and welcome to my YouTube channel based on a true story. What? We are here and we are reviewing the wonderful film Littlewoods. So let's get right into it, guys. It was written and directed by Nia DaCosta. This is her feature film directorial debut, so yay for her. She's a young African-American filmmaker, female filmmaker, which is great and awesome. Our running time for this film was 1 hour and 45 minutes. I thought that was a great running time. You know me, guys. You watched these a couple times. 10 to 15 minutes can be cut off of every single film that has ever been made. I love an hour-and-a-half movie, but it was still great. Littlewood is a crime thriller western film about two sisters who work outside the law to better their lives. So my overall score for this movie is 3 trees out of 4. I use trees because it's Littlewoods. Get it? I rarely see a film like this that is telling a new and interesting story, and this is what that movie did. It told a story of two sisters who do not look alike and are estranged and then slowly have to come back together. It was wonderful to see diverse casting, and they just made it easy and said the sisters were adopted and they never touched race again basically during the whole entire film, which was just so great just to see diverse casting and that done in that way, and I hope to see more of that. It was very smart and forward thinking, something that you see a lot in theater but not so much in film, so that was very exciting. The film was basically about how these women navigate a very cold, desolate place in America, a particular town that is supposedly set in North Dakota, and it exposed me to a world that I hadn't seen before, and also to circumstances that I didn't know that Americans face every day. So for me, it was both an entertaining film but also thought-provoking, and when you can do both in a really cohesive and structured way, thumbs up. You won. You made a movie, which is hard to do, so great job. I will also say that the film is shot beautifully. The film is just visually stunning, and it's very well directed for a first-time director, or should I say first-time feature film director. It was done in a way that made the filmmaker seem much older and much more experienced than she actually was, which is always a great takeaway. You're like, damn girl, this looks good. Like, you did a good job. So I was proud. I was proud of her. My only complaint is a story complaint. And spoiler alert, the movie ends with a rather happy ending. Curiosity kicks in because I'm wondering, like, were there other alternate versions of the ending for the movie? Because it definitely felt like they were veering that way and then chose to make it happy. We have our main character, Ollie, who is the eldest sister and who is very hardworking and gets what she needs to get done, and is tired throughout the entire film because she's just carrying a load on her shoulder and it keeps on piling on. She's a doer. By the end of the film, character arc, you think that will change, but it really doesn't. She kind of stays in her same ways in terms of her work ethic. She does rekindle her relationship with her sister, and you see the beauty in that, but I feel like either her efforts should have been in vain and she shouldn't have won at the end, and you could have told the harsh reality of what actually does happen in America, or you could have had the sister step in, the youngest sister step in some way and be like, I'm here to save you and rescue you because you can't do life alone. Those were my two alternatives to the ending. But instead, they chose a very Hollywood ending, and that character doesn't really grow. She just kind of remains the same. Her relationship with her sister changes, which is great, so we have growth there, but she still has a belief that in her own hands she can control the world around her, and I think it would have been interesting to see it not go well for her. I really actually thought, this is gonna be my personal take, she was gonna die. One of the last scenes of the film, she speaks to her sister and says they have this beautiful dialogue of them both saying I love you, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like her last days if she's saying this to her sister, but that's not what happens. They exchange I love yous, it's a beautiful moment, and then they walk away into the sunset and they're okay now. And you're like, oh, that's an interesting take. I mean, great, happy endings, but I don't know if it's because I'm in the Game of Thrones mode, I'm like, everyone should die, but I think it would have just been an interesting, more compelling story. That's my personal take. That's also me being extremely picky and being the film kid inside me being like, you could have done this, this, and this, but it's like, shut up, sit down, we don't need that. So my honest performance rating for this film was 3 trees out of 4 trees, and Lily and Tessa did a beautiful job, and there were beautiful moments where they gave honest performances. However, they are both stunning women, and once you put them against the harsh landscape of North Dakota where they were in the small town, they stood out. Like, you were like, these are strikingly beautiful people. Like, they tried it. You know how movies like ugly them, they monsterify them, like in the Charlize Theron movie, but it's like very difficult to do well, and that was the only part that bothered me. I was like, the believability of that was a little difficult for me to swallow. I will say the kid actor Charlie Ray Reid did an amazing job. He was a stunning performer. I can't wait to follow his career, because I was like, where did this kid come from? Where did they find him? And he also did a great job. So great job, Ray Reid. All the male minor counterparts to these 2 female leads also did a great job, I will say. Believable, great performances all around. And my score for diversity in front of and behind the camera is 4 trees, you guys. We have a lot of good films that are coming up with really good diversity, which gets me excited. We have Nia DaCosta, who's the African-American female who both directed and wrote this beautiful film. Film had like 22 producers. I counted them all. I was like, that's a lot of producers. But Tessa Thompson, who starred in it, also produced it, which is great. So diversity there. Also, there were a lot of female producers listed within the 22 producers. So yay. Caitlin, excuse me if I pronounce this name wrong. It's Katrin Hedstrom. She's a female editor. We have Yvonne Baudra. What's the French way of pronounce? I can't do accents, guys. I'm not even gonna try. She was our production designer. And then we have Colin Wilkes, and she was our female costume designer. So great diversity behind the camera, and in front of the camera, 2 leads are female. They had the majority of the speaking roles. Tessa's face was on the screen the entire time. She spoke the entire time. It was great. So good job for diversity on this part. Again, my overall score for this film is 3 trees out of 4 trees. This is a limited released film, meaning that it's not going to be playing in everyone's city, so I apologize for this in advance if it's not playing in your hometown. But if it is, please go check it out. The reason why I chose this film is because I want people to go see it and support Nia. It was really cool that I was able to see the film, and afterwards there was a Q&A where I got to hear her speak. And she is a beautiful, wonderful director who just landed the Candyman horror remake that Jordan Peele is behind. So she is someone to watch. And she's like hearing her speak, she's a very down-to-earth, cool human being. So I love to support other female filmmakers who are making things that are interesting and new. And I mean, this girl wrote basically a Western in North Dakota, and she's from New York. So it's cool to see her stretch her directorial and story abilities. Even she said, she's like, I'm not interested in making sad slave stories, which I was like, God bless you, God bless. She's interested in making interesting stories, and she is doing that with Littlewoods, so go check it out. And remember to, what else am I supposed to tell you guys to do? Remember to like and subscribe this channel only if you want to. No pressure, ever. You guys are all so amazing. Remember, your story is important, so go out into the world and tell it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.